exec, el vele, el fenómeno que todos quieren ser, el chamaquito que no pueden entender.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to episode 149 of the Exec Talk Podcast. I am your host, Les, the exec. All right, so what we're going to talk about today, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow me on all my socials. Thank you for all the support. God bless you guys. Always hit the notification bell, always subscribe, always like the video and comment. Need that. We'll talk about the trade deadline. Not as hot as people thought. A lot of moves that were expected, kind of talked about. Some dumbass moves by dumbass teams for no reason. Nothing really exchanged hands of extreme value. No third round, no second round, no first round picks. It was not a seismic shift in any division or anything like that with the moves that were made. Just moves for depth, moves to improve contenders, and to just have more depth at, different positions for different teams, people that are somewhat punting on the season, getting capital back for drafts and this one, the next one, but nothing really changed hands. But before that, let's get to Kansas City versus Tampa. A game that I thought would be a little bit more separated than it was. But at the same time, I expect the Chiefs to win. Chiefs were my pick. But, once again, they don't cover because they like to be in close games. Tampa had the lead at halftime. I believe it was 20-17 at half, if I'm not mistaken. Right here. Yeah, it was 10-7 at half. Then the Bucs scored 10 in the third with Chiefs scoring 0. So it was 17-10 going into the fourth quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, Tampa Bay scored 1. Chiefs scored twice, tied the game, and then they went to overtime and Chiefs scored with a game-winning touchdown. But, this was just a game that just showed you why you cannot, no matter how many injuries they suffer, no matter what's going on, who's in, who's out, doesn't matter. They're still 15, 87, Andy Reid, 95, and Spags. And as long as you got that, man, everything else is fine. But now add somebody else to the mix. Add D-Hop to the mix. He got really involved, as I expected after the first week of, kind of just finding his way and stuff like that. I think now they're really going to start using him. As for Tampa Bay, Baker went 23 for 31, 200 yards, 6.5 yards an attempt, 2 touchdowns, no picks, 2 sacks for 11 yards, a QBR of 64.8. Rating of 112.3. Bucky Irving, they ran the ball for 95 yards. They couldn't run the ball against this team. They threw the ball 31 times, so there was not a lot of, balance per se. Ran the ball 19 times. Cade Otton was their leading receiver, 8 receptions on 11 targets for 77 yards and a touchdown. Sterling Shepard was, Sterling Shepard, Baker's best friend and best target at Oklahoma when they were there. He caught 4 balls for 48 yards on 5 targets. I thought he would look for him more, but Kansas City has a really good secondary, so maybe they were trying to limit him. Trey Palmer caught 2 for 33 on 4 targets. And that was pretty much it. Ryan Miller caught 1 ball for 1 yard, and that was the touchdown. Josh Hayes recovered a fumble. They had 4 sacks. Kalijah Cansey, the second year D tackle out of Pitt, had 2 tackles. That's good. And then Vita Vea had 2 tackles. So the 2 interior defensive linemen had tackles. No picks. But for Tampa Bay to be successful, they needed Mike. They needed Chris. They just didn't have nobody to stretch down the field to put fear into that secondary. For them to get out of the box, how they were playing basically not a full box, but they were playing a 6-man, 7-man box, so they couldn't run, and Baker couldn't take advantage of the passing because like these guys were not getting off a press and off a man-to-man. So as for Patrick went 34 for 44, 291, 6.6 yards an attempt, 3 touchdowns, no picks, 4 sacks for 31 yards, a QBR of 77.5, rating of 116.8. Throwing the ball 44 times, running the ball 35 times. That just basically comes down to time of possession. You can run more plays as long as you have the possession. Their possessions were long drives. I'm talking about 11, 12, 13-play drives, eating up clock. Kareem Hunt went 27 for 106 and a touchdown. If they can run the ball, this is the thing. Most people say, oh, you need a great tackle. You need great tackles to run the football. Nah. You see, the Chiefs have built a dynasty off the guard, center, guard. Joe Tooney, Chris Humphries, Trey Smith. That has been the pillar of how they don't let sacks happen because there's no interior pressure, so it allows Patrick to step up in the pocket and step up into his throws. And then having Kareem there just going back to what he was doing before he had that incident and had to get off the team and all that years back when he was cooking, 27 for 106, 3.9 yards to carry. I mean, that's all they need. Travis Kelce went 14 for 100 on 16 targets. That's what I'm expecting for the rest of the season. Not that type of hyper targeting right there. I expect maybe between him and DeAndre Hopkins, I expect the targets to be maybe like 11 to 10, 11 to 12. But considering they threw the ball 44 times, and he was pretty efficient. I mean, it's 34 out of 44, pretty efficient. Ran the ball for 124 on 35 carries, 3.5 yards to carry. I mean, as long as you're averaging more than 3, you can get a first down with 3 runs. That's the basic thinking behind average yards per carry. So anything above 3 is great. It is good. Anything above 4 up is absolutely astonishing. DeAndre went 8 for 86, 2 touchdowns, a long of 35, which was a beautiful play. Kind of like it was breaking down. Patrick couldn't really step up. He kind of let it float, but the way DeAndre, has the ball tracking, he was double covered, didn't matter, put it right on his hands, right at the 1. And then he threw the game-tying touchdown to him, and he threw the first touchdown of the game to him on a beautiful play, and then the game-tying touchdown was on a 3rd and goal. Both of them were on 3rd downs. He was perfect on 3rd down this game, passing the ball. That's why D-Hop's there, the intermediate, the 3rd downs to help Travis. Justin Watson had 3 for 43. Samaje Perine 4 for 25 on 5 targets. McCole Hardman got hurt, came back 3 for 17 on 3 targets. Samaje Perine had a touchdown, and then Kareem ran the touchdown in overtime to win. Travis Kelce fumbled, and he lost it. And then their defense got 2 sacks. Felix and Udike Uzuma got half a sack, and then Drew Tranquil got half a sack. You had 1 sack by George Karlaftis, and that's it. Those were the 2 sacks. No interceptions. It was 8-0. Considering the rest of the schedule, Broncos win. The Bills is going to be a great matchup in Buffalo. Panthers is a win. Raiders is a win. Chargers is a win. Browns is a win. Texans is going to be a great matchup, especially if Nico's back. Steelers a great matchup just because of that defense, and then another win in Broncos. Not saying they're gonna go undefeated, but I don't think that they're losing 3 games within in the next 7 weeks. That's just my personal opinion. Tampa Bay now is before we get into is second in the NFC South. However, Atlanta's at 6-3. Tampa Bay is at 4-5. So if Atlanta keeps winning, they're pretty running away with the division. Closest division in the NFL right now is the NFC North. 7-1 Detroit, 6-2 Minnesota, 6-3 Green Bay, 4-4 Chicago. They have to win more to get closer, but that's pretty close. Washington and Philadelphia, they're pretty close. They're 7-2 and 6-2, so they're right there neck and neck. AFC West is basically over and done with. Chargers are 5-3. The Denver's 5-4. KC's 8-0. The AFC South is still kind of up for grabs, although Houston is 6-3. Indiana's 4-5, and then Tennessee, Jacksonville, they're out of it. AFC North is 6-2. Pittsburgh, 6-3. Baltimore. Cincy's still there, but they have to win. I don't know if that will happen. For the AFC East, this shit's over. 7-2 Buffalo. New York is 3-6. Miami's 2-6. New England's 2-7. Like, there's no way anybody's catching them. In the NFC East, Arizona's number 1 in the NFC West. And that's super, super competitive because it's 5-4, 4-4 Rams, 4-4 San Francisco, and 4-5 Seattle. Anybody can really like run the table in that division. But you know, best division in football is the NFC North right now. Okay, so let's get to the trade deadline. Okay, let's get to the trade deadline. This shit was uneventful as could be. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that it had to be this uneventful, but there was not a lot of stuff out there. You know, people are under contract. A lot of people got paid this offseason. So 49ers traded for DT Khalil Davis from the Texans for a 2026 7th round pick. Like I said, it's nothing crazy here. This is basically just a depth move, you know, nothing crazy. It's just a depth move for because of the Javon Hargrave triceps injury that basically ended his season. So, you know, adding him to Malik Collins and Jordan Elliott and Kevin Givens, who just got injured last week, we'll see what happens. But, you know, it's for a 2026 7th round pick and nothing, you know, just a depth move. One that might cause some type of, I don't want to say like shake up or like, you know, a big boom, but somebody that can definitely add value to a room that definitely needs it. A guy that's been there, done that, been at the highest level, has gotten injured though. And just, you know, people think that is not the same player he was. Tre'Davious White goes to the Ravens. Now, when you look at that secondary now with Tre'Davious White in it, you got Tre'Davious White on one side, Marlon Humphrey on the other, Kyle Hamilton, Roquan Smith. So now you really got a Matabike, Owe. So you really got to think about, okay, is Tre'Davious White still that dude? The trade was not a lot. I mean, it was for a 2026 7th round pick. It looked like the Rams really wanted to get rid of him because they gave him Tre'Davious White and a 2027 7th round pick to the Baltimore Ravens. He's coming back from a torn Achilles after tearing his ACL in LA in the Chargers before he went to the Rams. You know, can he get back there? He's going to have to prove that he still could be a lockdown number 1 corner because that's what he was. He has Marlon Humphrey on the other side, which is, you know, comforting that he's not just going to get the super assignments and like, all right, we'll leave you by yourself because there's another dog on the other side. But, you know, we have to see if he gets there. Good move for the Ravens, kind of like let's see. But, you know, we believe in the talent and we believe in what we've seen. So let's give him a shot. Steelers. So this is one of the big ones that I thought made sense, but was probably not good for the rest of the league. So two contending teams, Pittsburgh and Green Bay, agree to send. Green Bay agrees to send DN Preston Smith, one of the best DNs, because they like Devontae Wyatt. They like the people that they got at Lucas Van Ness. They want to get him on the field more. They give Green Bay a 25 7th-round pick, so like nothing for Preston Smith, a really good rusher. Now they add him to T.J. Watt. They add him to Alex Highsmith, Nick Herbig. So, you know, Alex Highsmith get hurt, you got Preston Smith. Nick Herbig gets hurt, you got Preston Smith. T.J. Watt doesn't really get hurt besides the freak injury, the torn pec 2 years ago. But other than that, he doesn't get hurt. He's really good. I think that if he gets on the field, because that's a big if, especially if Alex Highsmith is healthy, he'll be in rotation. But I think he could really be a compliment to TJ on the other side because he is a legit dude that you got to worry about. Not saying Alex Highsmith is not saying Nate Herbig is not, but I think Preston Smith adds a little bit of that power game to the pass rush, and I think it'd be good for the Steelers. Good move. Good move. All right. Next, we have Steelers trading again, getting Mike Williams from the New York Jets for a 2025 5th-round pick, a bag of balls. Listen, this is normal. Devontae Adams is there. You got Garrett Wilson. You got Lazard. You have Xavier Gibson, who A-Rod really likes. So it was only a matter of time that Mike was going to get out of there because he was not getting playing time. And a guy of his stature, at least for him, he probably thinks like, hey, I should be starting and getting balls thrown at me. But, you know, do I think that this for the Steelers is basically, now you look at that receiver room and you go, okay, George Pickens, Mike Williams, Van Jefferson, and, of course, Austin. I guess I just need to see more from Russell Wilson. Like, if Russell Wilson shows me that he could actually run an offense passing and it doesn't rely on a random deep ball to George Pickens that hopes that his athletic ability and ball skills can just go get whenever, and they can run the ball, then I can believe this move will work. If not, it's going to be deep bomb city like he had when Javon Curse was there in Seattle, and he had DK, Sidney Rice when he was there, like, just a big dude that, basically like can go get it. One of the best, deep ball catchers and contested catchers in the league the last few years, just been injured. So I think it's a good move for the Steelers. They had a little bit more wide receiver depth, a little bit more pop in the receiving game. So we'll see how he does. I think he'll do pretty good considering Russell likes to throw the ball deep. Okay. Next, we have the biggest trade, which was Commanders trading for Marshawn Lattimore, adding him to Mikey Sainristil and St. Juice. In that, and Ibogonomi, the former Dolphin or former Cowboy. So they send over Marshawn and a 2025 5th-round pick. New Orleans gets a 3rd-round pick, so that's the highest pick that we've seen. Gets a 2025 3rd-round pick, a 2025 4th-round pick, and a 2025 6th-round pick. So they really valued him. Now, same thing with him and Tre'Davious White. Now, I believe in Marshawn a lot more because Marshawn is not that hurt. I remember him at Ohio State, locked down. He's been locked down and all-pro in New Orleans. I think with this team, with this young team, he's going to be looked at as a leader. I think he could step into that role as a number one corner, show the guys the ropes, especially a guy like Emmanuel Forbes on the other side. Play off of Benjamin St. Juste. Do I think that this will improve that pass defense enough to get him over the top? It all depends on Marshawn's play. I believe he has it in him. He's a hell of a corner, one of the best corners in the league when he's right. So we'll see, but I think it was a good move for the Commanders to add that piece to that defense, especially in the back end. See. The next thing we got is Cowboy. Okay, so we're about to roast, all right? Because this. All right, first of all, you don't go get D-Hop. You don't go get Devontae Adams. You don't go get Deontay Johnson. Amari Cooper. Like Mike Williams. Christian Kirk but he got hurt. He's out for the season. So you don't go get none of those dudes, right? As the Cowboys, knowing that CeeDee Lamb is your only offense. But you think it's great to go after Jonathan Mingo out of Carolina because your draft grade on him was high coming out of Ole Miss a year ago. Meanwhile, this guy has caught 12 balls this year. And last year he caught 44. He hasn't shown nothing. He's a boomer bust type, can run the deep ball, is really fast, is big, needs hands because they're inconsistent. And so the Cowboys get Jonathan Mingo and a 2025 7th-round pick, and Carolina gets a 2025 4th-round pick. I don't understand. Like, for his career, he's caught 55 passes for 539 yards. He sits at 0.8 yards per route run. I mean, this is going to be your deep threat? This is going to be your deep threat. That's what you're going to do. Like, I think that Cowboys have become an official dumpster fire. Last year was the last Cowboy team that with that offensive line, but now that you're seeing Micah hurt, Lawrence hurt, the whole D-line hurt, this is where you're seeing the weaknesses of this team. They cannot really keep up with teams like that. And especially, that's talking about the defensive side, and that's because of injuries. If we're talking about the offensive side, you guys are piss poor bad at running the football. Like, you guys are shit at running the football. 32 out of 32. The Dallas Cowboys. Like, that is stupid to me. And then you go get Jonathan Mingo thinking that Dak is not even playing this week. He might be out a couple of weeks. You got Cooper Rush starting against the Eagles. You guys are about to get small. And then the last trade, the first one that came through, the last two that came through, Khalil Herbert, the former really nice running back out of the Bears. The Bengals get him maybe to do a two-back. You know, they have Zach Moss, they have Chase Brown, who's been running well, but maybe just add another just boost of speed with Chase Brown and Khalil Herbert. Khalil can catch the ball at the backfield as well. Maybe use him as a returner. So, you know, good little move there. I mean, it was for a 2025 7th-round pick. It's a bag of balls, you know. Zach Moss has a neck injury, so they needed to, definitely have another back there so Chase Brown is not just running himself into the ground. So I think that was a pretty good move for for the Bengals. And last but not least, what we before the Baron Browning, which is, I mean, it was just Baron Browning, but this one needed to happen. Lions land Zadarius Smith, Big Z, from the Browns. They get Zadarius Smith. They get a 2026 seventh round pick, and the Cleveland Browns get a 2025 fifth round pick and a 2026 sixth round pick, aka another bag of balls. Now, for the Lions, this was necessary. We've been talking about this for weeks at this point. People basically had this trade done, just had to get the right compensation. It gets done yesterday, at trade deadline day. This automatically makes the Lions a better edge rushing team now that Aiden Hutchinson is gone and can only come back for the Super Bowl. But this is more, I think, maybe a long-term play. Maybe if he plays really well, you can put him next to Aiden Hutchinson, because like next year you're not going to have a draft pick to go get one of those dudes that are coming out of college this year at the DN position to pair up with Aiden Hutchinson. So I think it's a good move. Zadarius Smith, they hadn't had any pressure coming off the edge from their D-line, except Aleem McNeil, since Aiden went down. So this is perfect fit here with perfect culture. I expect them to do really good. It's a good move for the Lions, and then for the Browns, that shit's a dumpster fire. He had to get out of there anyway. But I think it's a good move for the Lions, definitely, to get Big Z in there. And then, like I said, last but not least, is Cardinals add Baron Browning from the Broncos. So two teams that are kind of in it. One that's a division leader. The other one's third in the third in the race right now. Baron Browning is a hard-hitting, fast, guy that they could put there in the middle to add a little bit more pop to that defense, even though they've been playing well. For a 2025 sixth-round pick, another bag of balls. They lost Dennis Gardeck to the Barbarian to a torn ACL. They had lost B.J. Ojulari, so those were the two premier pass rushers. They lost them both to knee injuries. So I think Browning, even coming off of IR, I think that they can put him at edge, and he'll have an effect with Mac Wilson Jr. as well. Probably going to start right away, and hopefully he still has that power that we remember him for. So that was it, guys. That was it. Like I said, not much, not nothing crazy, just def moves here, some moves there, bag of balls. Pretty uneventful trade deadline. Now let's get to the NCAA. There's some big matchups this week. Before that, we got to go to NASCAR real quick because the last race of the season is this upcoming week right here. This is for the championship. This is it. In Phoenix, it's between Logano, Reddick, Byron, and Blaney, the defending champ. I personally think that Byron really wants a championship. The only guy that I would put close or even above him in skill set and confidence right now would be Reddick. Both of them want their first championship. Both of them want that trophy and that title. But I think Byron for Hendrick will have the best car. And I think he's been in these championship battles before at Phoenix. So I think the cream will rise to the top. And I think William will win his first championship. All right. let's go to NCAA. This week, we got Ohio State, Purdue, Ohio State. Miami, Georgia Tech, Miami should roll. Florida versus Texas, Texas should roll. Georgia, Ole Miss, great matchup, 7-1 versus 7-2. I'm going Georgia. I just think they have a little bit more. Even though Ole Miss is going to try to get that Lane Kiffin tempo going, and it's going to be interesting how they do. Michigan, Indiana, 9-0 versus 5-4. I think Indiana with Rourke back, I think that they keep being undefeated. Being number 8, I think it's because of their name. They should be higher because they're an undefeated. But, Miami's number 4. Not really mad at it, but, they could be higher. Some people say Iowa State versus Kansas. I think Iowa State pulls this off and bounces back from last week against the loss against Tech. Clemson, Virginia Tech. I don't know, bro, because Clemson just got smacked last week. So I'm still going Clemson. I think Clemson still has it. Army versus North Texas. We're going Army. They're 8-0. Colorado, Texas Tech. I'm going Colorado. 6-2 versus 6-3. Very important game for the Big 12. I'm going Colorado. I think Shedeur Travis, LaJohntay Wester, Jimmy Horn, Omarion Miller. I think those kids are going to be prepared. So I'm gonna go with Colorado. Oregon, Maryland. Oregon at home in Eugene, 10-0. Tennessee, Mississippi State. I'm going Tennessee. At home at Rocky Top. Florida State, Notre Dame. I'm going Notre Dame. Florida State is a dumpster fire. That's 1-8. And it's in South Bend. So I'm going Notre Dame there, number 10 in the nation. Alabama, LSU. We know about them games. It's in Death Valley. It's at night. The atmosphere's going to be rocking. But I'm going to go Alabama because I love Jalen Hurts, Ryan Williams. I think that they can run the ball with Jam Miller. The defense can't slip, but I think that overall Alabama has the better team this year. Oklahoma, Missouri. I'm going with Missouri. It's in Mizzou. I'm going with Missouri. Penn State, Washington. I'm going Penn State. It's in Happy Valley. It is a whiteout game, so it's going to be rocking. Nevada, Boise State. We're going Boise State. Ashton Genty to go over 150 again and 2 touchdowns. Pitt versus Virginia. Pitt bounces back from their first loss of the season. It's in Pittsburgh. They should win. BYU, Utah. BYU number 9 in the country against Utah. I believe that they beat Utah, go to 9-0, and then have to meet up with Colorado in the next few weeks. And that's going to decide who is going to the Big 12 championship. And then Utah, Washington State. We're going Washington State there. We're going Cougars. Yeah. Now we go to the NFL. Bengals, Ravens tomorrow in Baltimore. Ravens. I don't know how the Bengals are even thinking of stopping Derrick Henry. If you stack the box, Zay Flowers and Bateman have gotten better. Now they have another week with Deontay Johnson. I think he's going to be a part of this week. All you have to do is cover Jamar. T's not playing. He's doubtful again. So, I think that the Ravens have this in the bag. If they win this, they put the pressure back on Pittsburgh. Who face the Commanders this week, so that's going to be a tough matchup. But I'm going with the Ravens tomorrow. Giants, Panthers, another dumpster fire in Carolina. Listen, man, I'm going Giants. I just think that they have a better team. Sexy Dexy's going to destroy that offensive line. So is Brian Burns. As long as they can keep Bryce Young and Xavier Legette from going off. Other than that, I'm going to go with the Giants here, but it's a dumpster bowl in Munich. Poor German fans at 9 a.m. in the morning over here. Broncos, Chiefs are going Chiefs, 9-0. it's a division matchup, but it's in Arrowhead, like, with another, after the success of Monday with D-Hop, I expect more D-Hop to be involved, more Kelsey, more Kareem Hunt, Josh Uche to get more ingratiated into the Chiefs after getting traded there from the Patriots. Just, add a compliment to Karlaftis and Chris Jones. So I expect the Chiefs to not roll. I mean, it's a -8 spread. They can if they figure it out on the offensive end, but I think it's just going to be one of those games where it's a division game, but the Chiefs pull it out at home. Steelers, Commanders, all right, 6-2 versus 7-2. This is for supremacy because of the Ravens beat the Bengals. They have 7 wins, and that would put them at 7-3. If the Steelers lose, it would be 7-3, and they haven't faced each other yet, so the tiebreaker's not really there, so there would be a top of the AFC North. It's in Washington. Terry McLaurin's healthy. They just got Marshawn Lattimore to put on George Pickens. Steelers got Mike Williams. We'll see how much he gets used. Preston Smith the same. I'm going with the Commanders. I know that the Steelers defense is insane, but I'm going with the Commanders. I think that a quarterback like Jaden McDaniels, who's accurate, especially down the field, bodes well for them. If the Commanders can just keep Russell in, just throwing short here, short there, and not looking for the big play, I think that they can definitely win. I got the Commanders there in a close game. It's a -3 spread for the Commanders just because they're at home. But I'm going with the Commanders. Vikings, Jaguars. We're going Vikings here. It's in Jacksonville, but we're going Vikings. JJ, Addison. You got Hawk back. Aaron Jones. I just think that it's just a better situation. The Jaguars are a mess right now. All they have is Brian Thomas Jr. and Evan Ingram. Travis Etienne doesn't even know if he can go or not go, or is he going to be good or not good. At this point, I think it's Tank Bigsby's job. The Jaguars' D-line is good with Josh Hines, Allen, and Trayvon Walker, but, I think that B-Flow is just going to confuse the shit out of Trevor Lawrence on defense, and it's a -4 spread right now for the Vikings, so I'm going Vikings. Falcons, Saints, we're going Falcons all the way. The Saints are a mess. Derek Carr is a mess. They just got rid of Marshawn Lattimore. They fired Dennis Allen. I just think it's a mess. I think the Falcons are playing great. I think Kirk is going to find Darnell Mooney. I don't know if Drake is going to play. He has a hit pointer. He should play. He still has Kyle Pitts. You still have Bijan. The Saints can't really stop the run. So I think that the Falcons get to 7-3 and kind of put this division away if Tampa Bay slips. 49ers, Buccaneers. Speaking of Tampa Bay, this is in Tampa. 49ers getting CMC back because he has practice this week. It's a -6 spread right now for San Francisco at 4-4. They need this game to stay close to Arizona if Arizona wins. So I'm going 49ers here. C-Mac back. You still got Debo. You got Kittle, and then on the defensive side, you still have Fred Warner. You still have your Nick Bosa. So I'm going to go 49ers there. Bills, Colts, we're going Bills here. I don't think this is much. AR is going to start again. It's in Indiana. It's indoors. I think the Bills are just going to throw the ball, run the ball. I think it's just going to be a Bills type of day, especially offensively. I think Josh is going to cook 8-2 and running away with the division and the 2 seed, I believe, in the AFC. Patriots, Bears. Man, it's in Chicago. I'm going Bears. I feel like they're a better team. They're a better defense. The Bears have to get off the schneid after losing the back-to-back games, 1-8 to Arizona, and then the Hail Mary play against Washington Commanders 2 weeks ago. So I'm going to go Bears here. I think Caleb is better than Drake. I think that overall they just have a better team, and I expect the Bears to show up and play well at home. Titans-Chargers, we're going Chargers here. This is going to be a bloodbath back and forth, but I think the Chargers just have a little bit too much right now. Quentin Johnston is playing pretty well over the last week. We still got J.K. Dobbins running all over people. I think they're going to move. I think they're going to move this D-line. They're going to be able to run a little bit. And on the other side, I don't think Mason Rudolph has anything for this defense. I think it's going to be Asante Samuel on Ridley, and he's going to look for other options. They're not going to be there. Tony Pollard might get some good runs, but at the end of the day, this is a hardball team. They're going to play hard. They're going to play close. And it's a nitty-gritty game. It's 7.5. 7.5 spread. It might be a little high, but again, the Titans really suck when it comes to like offense. So I'm going to go with the Chargers there. Eagles, Cowboys in Jerry World. We're going Eagles here. I don't think the Cowboys have a snowball's chance in hell to compete with the Eagles. Saquon, they can't stop the run. They're soft up front. This offensive line with Mauaga, with Mailata, Lane Johnson, they're just gonna run roughshod all over. I mean, they might even pass. It might be just Saquon party. AJ Brown, I believe, is gonna play. If not, you still got Devontae Smith. You still got Goddard. So I'm not worried by any means in that department. I think it's just going to be a Saquon game, to be honest. I don't think the Cowboys have anything for this defense, especially up front. I don't think that they can block Jordan Davis or Jalen Carter right now. So I'm going to go Eagles there to take a commanding 2 seed, because I believe in the Commanders to go to 8-2. So a commanding 2 seed in that division, and then sending the Cowboys into a 3-6 spiral that it's done. That's it. Their season's over, and maybe they start selling off players, or trade deadline's done. So I don't know, but maybe McCarthy's on the line. So we'll see. Jets, Cardinals, big game for the Cardinals here to get it to 6-4 and extend that lead over the 49ers in the division. Against the Jets after a big win and using Garrett Wilson and using Devontae Smith. This is one tough one to call. Cardinals can run the ball. Jets can stop the run. It's in Arizona. I'm going to go Jets. This is the last chance I give them. It's because it's against the Cardinals. I believe in Kyler. He doesn't have the connection yet with Marvin Harrison Jr. I think that's going to hurt him because you're going against Sauce. So I'm going Jets on the road. Don't know how I feel about it. It's an even spread right now. Pick 'em, but I'm gonna go Jets just because of Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, and Garrett Wilson with Breece Hall. I believe that they have enough and have gotten enough into a rhythm that they can play complementary football with this defense and get a win. Lions, Texans. This is a big game. Sunday Night Football determines the Lions' head of the table stakes because of what the Vikings, because I picked the Vikings that they would be 7-2. The Lions would have to win this one to be 8-1 and keep at the top of the division with the tiebreaker. Against the Texans, I don't know if Nico Collins is back. We don't know that information as of right now, but he's getting off of IR, supposed to be this week. So if Nico is back, then it becomes a very interesting game because both sides have a really good defense. It's in Houston. This would be a hell of a statement for C.J. Stroud, saying, hey, I'm still a Super Bowl contender. We're still here. Joe Mixon, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Tank Dell, Nico Collins if he plays. J-Mo's back this week for the Lions after the 2-game suspension for PEDs. You got him on Raw. I'm going to go Lions on the road. Jared Goff is playing incredible right now. Ben Johnson's calling a hell of a game, but I would not be surprised if this game was won by the Texans at home. C.J. Stroud is that type of player. I believe that if Nico is there, it's going to be cause problems in that back end with Tank Dell. But not having Stephon Diggs is also a big blow. You have Will Anderson. You have Daniil Hunter. and Stingley on the outside. But I'm going to go Lions here. They're just playing too well. They get J-Mo back, which is another just weapon outside. So I expect the Lions to, although Houston can win, I expect the Lions not to roll, but to win in the end, maybe a close game by 3, game-winning field goal, if not a drive within the last 5 minutes of the game to take the ultimate lead. And then on Monday, we have Dolphins versus Rams. Really, really interesting matchup. It's in L.A. at SoFi, and I am tempted to take the Rams here. That defense is starting to really play well with Byron Young, Braden Fisk, Jared Verse. They did get rid of Tre'Davious White, but he wasn't playing much. I don't think. The Dolphins got back to their offense. They scored 27 versus the Bills. They can run the ball now. They can use the screen game with Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert. We got Tyreek. I think that he gets back on track this week. Not that anybody in that back end can cover Tyreek or Jalen Waddle. Jonnu Smith has been a big addition. All we have to watch out for as a defense is Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp and Kyron Williams. If we can stop that trio, we can win this game. However, we are at a disadvantage in quarterback with Stafford. So I'm going to go Rams. I believe that the Dolphins have a legit shot. It's a 1 point spread right now for the Rams at home. Money line is even. I think it'll be a high-scoring game. The over right now is at 50.5. Probably maybe go over, especially if its defenses don't show up. But I'm going to go Rams just because I feel like that Rams defense is really figuring it out, and that Rams offense with McVay, Puka, and Cooper Kupp with Kyron Williams is just hard to figure out schematically defensively. We have Jalen Ramsey, but I believe we need more edge rush help, even though Chop Robinson has been showing flashes. I just think the Rams are too much right now. So that's for the NFL this week. Let me write those down, actually. I didn't write them down. So we got Ravens. We got Giants. And you guys can write them down at home, too. Chiefs. Commanders. Okay. Chiefs, Commanders. Vikings, Falcons. Bills. Oh, well, no, wait. Before that. 49ers. Then Bills. And then come the Bears. And after the Bears, we go Chargers and Eagles. And then we go Jets, Lions, Rams. That's what we're rolling with this week, guys. Now for the NBA, we're going to touch a little bit on the NBA. Scores that they stand today. They took a rest day yesterday. Scores that they stand. Rockets are beating the Spurs 127-99. That's over. Grizzlies 118-98 with 4:35 left in the fourth quarter against the Lakers. Seems like it's over, but we'll see. 4:35 left. Still can mount a comeback, but it's a 20-point lead. Cavaliers, Pelicans. Cavaliers are beating Pelicans 114-106 in the 4 minutes left in the fourth. Bulls, Mavericks 79-59 late in the third. Mavericks are winning. Thunder 66-55 against the Nuggets at halftime. Heat, Suns is 58-55 at halftime. Pistons, Hornets. Hornets won on a game winner by Brandon Miller, I believe, over the Pistons 108-107. Pacers won against the Magic by 7 points, 108-111. Hawks beat the Knicks 121-116. The Warriors beat the Lakers 118-112. I was expecting that because the Warriors have been playing amazing basketball. Buddy Hield was a great pickup after the Klay Thompson left. Pajinski's playing well. Kuminga's playing well. Wiggins is playing well. Moody's playing well. Trace Jackson Davis is playing well. Draymond's playing well. And we haven't gotten a full version of Steph yet. We haven't gotten a 30-point game yet. We haven't gotten one of those iconic Steph games yet. And there's 6, 7, and 1. We'll get to the standings right here in a little bit. 76ers Clippers at 10. 76ers are 1-5. Paul George is playing tonight though. Returning back to the new LA arena, to the Intuit Dome. And then Raptors Kings at 10. Kings should win that. If we go to the standings right now, we have Cleveland still at 8-0 undefeated. Boston at 7-2 because they lost today. The Pacers 4-4, they're third. Brooklyn's still there at 4, they're 4-4. Miami is 3-3, they're fifth. Atlanta's 4-5, sixth. Seventh is Chicago, 3-4. The Knicks are 3-4, still early at 8. Charlotte's at 3-5. Orlando's 3-6. That's because of Paolo mostly. Detroit's 11 at 3-6. Washington's at 2-4. Toronto's 2-6. Philly and Milwaukee are 1-5 and 1-6. Those were two top 6 teams last year. That's insane. Or not top 6 because Philadelphia dropped once Embiid got hurt with the knee, but they were playoff teams last year. For the West, OKC still undefeated at 7-0. Golden State 7-1. They're second in the West. Phoenix is third in the West, 6-1. Houston's 4-3. They're fourth in the West. Lakers are 4-3, fifth in the West. Dallas is 4-3, sixth in the West. So not a lot of separation there between between 4 through 6, or basically all the way 4 through 8, 4 through 10. There's basically no separation. Dallas is 4-3, they're sixth. Minnesota's 4-3, they're seventh. Denver's 4-3, they're eighth. Sacramento's 4-3, they're eighth or ninth. Memphis is 4-4, they're 10th. The Clippers are 3-4, 11th. San Antonio's 3-4, 12th. Portland's 3-5. New Orleans is 3-5, which gotta figure that out, Zion. And then Utah's 1-6. They won their first game 2 days ago. If we go to stats, who's leading stuff right now? Anthony Davis is leading in points, 32, basically 33 points a game. Giannis is at 31. Tyrese Maxey's at 30, but he's by himself. Jason Tatum's at 30. Jokic is at 29, basically 30. Those are your top 5 offensive points right there. Scores. If we go to assists, we got Trae Young leading this early season at 11 assists a game. Nikola Jokic right behind him at 10.3. James Harden at 9.9, still being an elite point guard. John Morant 9.7, showing that point guard gene. And then Chris Paul's at 8.9. Somebody that's not in this so far is Tyrese Halliburton. 3-pointers made. Anthony Edwards 5.1 a game. Buddy Hield, like I said, 4.7 a game. Lonzo Ball, 4.6 a game, playing really well. LaMelo, not Lonzo. Jason Tatum, 4.1 game. And Peyton Pritchard, 4 game. Defensive leaders, Sabonis is at 13.4 rebounds. Zubac is at 13 rebounds. Nikola Jokic at 12.6, so basically 13 rebounds. Karl Anthony Towns is at basically 13 rebounds. And Giannis is at 12.3. Blocks, Wemby is lapping the field, 3.9 blocks a game. Chet is at 3.1. Walker Kessler's at 3.0. Alex Sarr, the rookie's at 2.8. That's impressive. And Brook Lopez is at 2.4. And then steals, Jordan Poole's at 2.8 a game. Dyson Daniels is at 2.2. De'Aaron Fox at 2.1. J-Dub is at 2.1. And then DeMar DeRozan is at 2. If we go to a little bit deeper into the point scores right now, after Jokic, you have Doncic at 28.9, so basically 29 points a game. LaMelo Ball's at 28.6, basically 29. Damian's at 28. Anthony Edwards at 27.3. I thought it would be a little bit higher, but he still has the whole season to go, so I expect him to be closer to 30. Durant's at 27.1, of course. Brunson's at 26. Thought it would be a little bit higher. SGA right now, kind of a slow start, 25.7. Jaylen Brown's at 25.7. That's pretty good. Cam Thomas at 24.9. DeMar DeRozan's at 25.4 with his new team. Devin Booker's at 24.7. Brandon Ingram's at 25. Kyrie's scoring 24 a game. Cade Cunningham has 23.3. A lot of people haven't woken up yet. You look like a guy at LeBron. He's at 21.9. He hasn't really woken up yet. Buddy Hield is averaging 22 a game. But I expect other people to get into that. I expect Wemby to be more than 18.9. So I expect a little bit more. I expect Ja to be more than 20 points. He should be closer to the 30 range. So we'll see how that goes. Curry's not even up here, so I expect him to bump it up. He hasn't had the greatest of starts, and then the injuries, of course. But that's your NBA. That's your episode 149. I love you guys. Thank you for all the support. Like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell. God bless you guys, and I leave you all with the outro.